And good evening and welcome again to Matthew Knight Arena in the University of Oregon in Eugene for the OSAA U.S. Bank Les Schwab Tires 5A Boys Basketball State Championships. The Milwaukie Mustangs and the Corvallis Spartans battle for 5A basketball supremacy in 2012. Milwaukie, maybe the Cinderella team here, and Corvallis, the defending state champions. Corvallis comes into the matchup here. And the champions of the Mid-Willamette Conference, a 14-0 record in the Mid-Willamette Conference. They went 23-4. Now the Milwaukie Mustangs, their starting five as their team gets introduced right now, will include at the wing position a 6'3 senior, Jeffrey Chirapata, a 6'2 junior wing, Aubrey Dashiell-Lloyd, a 6'7 junior post, Henry Morris, and then the two guys that really do everything for this Mustangs team, a 6'2 senior point guard, Mashawn Hopkins, and a 6'3 senior wing in Keenan Middleton. And Middleton's had a tournament. 34 points in the quarterfinal victory over Mountain View, and 23 points in the semifinal last night over Wilsonville. Milwaukee's our designated home team here tonight as their reserves get introduced. Their head coach is Kyle Bracey. 8 seasons as the head man at Milwaukie. His assistants, Scott Bays, Don Law, and Nate Ware. They're a team that tied for first in the Northwest Oregon Conference, wearing the maroon and gold. Their actually jerseys are going to be black jerseys with gold numerals and lettering and trimmed in maroon and gold tonight. As the starters get introduced, the way Milwaukie got here, a play-in round win over Franklin, 77-56. They beat Bend in the round of 16, 78-51 at home. And then here at the tournament, Mountain View in the quarterfinals on Thursday, 69-63. And Wilsonville last night in the semifinals. In the rubber match of sports for the Northwest Oregon Conference, they had split the regular season series, and that's why they each finished 13-1 in the Northwest Oregon Conference. Last night, winning 59-41 to make it to the state championship game. Last time Milwaukie played for a state championship game, 1954. Now the Corvallis state champions and their starting five, everything starts for Corvallis right in the middle with the 6'7 senior post, Jake Ehlers. The 4 others around him, the 6'1 senior wing, Joey Spiegelberg, the 6'7 senior center, Nolan Hansen. And then at the guard positions, the 5'10 senior point guard, Keith Johnson, and the 6' senior wing, Henry Parker. Ehlers leads this team, but Greg Garrison, the head coach in his 4th season back with the program, 7th season back with the program. He spent 4 seasons as the head coach at Corvallis back in the 90s, 7 in the last consecutive seasons. And he says, yeah, Jake has been great for us, but it's been the supporting role and the ability for us to get it inside and really attack the rim. That's how we're different from last year's team. We probably play better defense this year, and we also get it inside more so than outside. We're an inside-out team this year. A little bit of a contrast in styles here. Milwaukie likes to get it out and scores over 67 points per game and averages allowing about 57 3/4 points per game. Corvallis still can fill it up, averages 66.7 points per game. But as Coach Greg Garrison puts it, we're not Milwaukie fast. We're not a half-court slow-it-down team. We're fast, but we're not as fast as them. And defensively, they're about as good as it gets, 47.6 points allowed. So Corvallis will try to defend their state championship and win their 7th state title. Milwaukie looking for their 2nd ever state championship, the last one back in the mid-50s. Matthew Knight Arena here in the University of Oregon, our home floor. The officials tonight, Steve Harris out of the Lane County Officials Association and Cameron Rust out of the Portland Officials Association. Good student sections at the end zones of each area here in the arena. And the rest of Matthew Knight Arena is filling up pretty well as well. So Corvallis will be in the white and baby blue, and Milwaukie in the all black. Jake Ehlers will jump at the center circle with Henry Morris. Ready to play is signaled, and the OSAA US Bank Les Schwab Tires 2012 state championship game is in action. Knocked out of bounds by Morris. Corvallis will have the opening possession. Nolan Hansen is the 6'7" senior. He'll get it back to Keith Johnson. Kyle Bracey, Milwaukee's head coach, said, you know, one of the things about Corvallis is, sure, they've got Jake Ehlers, but Keith Johnson really is the guy who makes this team go. And there's a nice dish by Johnson down to the block, and Hansen lays it in. So Corvallis strikes first. The defending champions, they beat Benson last year in a thriller. It went double overtime, and Corvallis won 79-73. Benson finished third place this year. At the free throw line, a float away short by Charapata, and it's going to be Corvallis ball. Here comes Johnson. He's a 5'10" senior. Hansen going to work inside, just like Greg Garrison said. We like to work inside first, and there's going to be a foul that sends Hansen to the line to shoot a pair. Joffrey Charapata picks up the foul. It is his first, and it is the first foul of the ball game. So 45 seconds into the ball game, and Corvallis is up by a pair, but Hansen, who has the first 2 points, can add to it, and he does. Last night in Corvallis' battle with Wilsonville, Hansen ended up with 16 points, 8 rebounds, and he was 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Don't see a lot of big men who shoot like that, and couldn't get the shooter's roll, but there's a foul on the rebound. And the foul called there by Cameron Rust. It'll go against Corvallis. Jake Ehlers picks it up. That is of note, is obviously Ehlers being a star in the state of Oregon at the 5A level. If he gets himself into foul trouble, that is going to put a lot of pressure on his supporting cast for Corvallis. This is Mashawn Hopkins. He was a first-teamer at this tournament a year ago. Milwaukie last year finished in fourth, but really Hopkins and Middleton, who has it blocked from behind and out of bounds. Middleton with that take there. Those two are really the only two back from last year's team who finished in fourth place. They had 8 seniors a year ago, so probably for people around the rest of the state, Milwaukie getting here is a little bit of a surprise, and being here in this championship game is an even bigger surprise. I don't know if the people in Milwaukee's gym are quite as surprised by that. Ehlers can hit at the rim, and it's tipped out. Charapata with the ball for Milwaukie. Keenan Middleton, 34 points in the win over Mountain View. In a shootout, he won with Mountain View's superb senior James Reed. Turnaround there, Mashawn Hopkins off the front iron. And Corvallis the other direction, tipped out of bounds. Off of the fingertips of Aubrey Dashiell Lloyd, a 6'2" junior starter for this Milwaukie team. One of the things Kyle Bracey said about his squad is it took them a little bit to get going this season because they had so many guys graduate off last year's team. And other than Hopkins and Middleton, they had to gel and develop that chemistry. A three-pointer rolls home for Henry Parker. Yeah, Corvallis is out in front. 6-0 here, and a steal coming the other direction. Parker all by himself, and it's blocked away. Middleton got the block, and now Charapata battling to keep it in, and does. What a play by Middleton to come back. Henry at the 10, can't quite lay it in. Henry Morris will go to the line to shoot 2. This is the second foul on Corvallis. It'll go against Henry Parker. And at the line to shoot 2 free throws, Henry Morris. Started against Mountain View, had a little bit of foul trouble, so he only played 8 minutes, didn't attempt a field goal, didn't have any points, did have 2 rebounds. Was a little bit more important for Milwaukie in their win yesterday over Wilsonville. 19 minutes, 5 points, and 7 rebounds. And what he does at 6'7" is he helps Milwaukie protect the rim on the inside. And he helps them get their first point of the game. We've got a foul on the rebound here. And it's going to go against, no, it's a lane violation. So Henry Morris gets another free throw here. Made his first, missed his second, but a lane violation gives him another second free throw. And that one's short as well. Ehlers gets the rebound. Keith Johnson to Parker, who just hit the big three. Ehlers up top. Greg Garrison says Ehlers hasn't scored quite as much as he did a year ago because he hasn't had to. Hits it, that jumper at the elbow. And a timeout coming for Kyle Bracey. Milwaukee falls behind 8-0 here, and they don't want this one to get away from them early. 5:29 on the clock in the first quarter, and it is going to be the short timeout for the Milwaukee Mustangs. But Greg Garrison talking about his big guy there, Jake Ehlers. He said he hasn't scored quite as much this year, but what he did have to work on and is doing a lot better is he's defending the ball a lot better and he rebounds a lot better. And those were both very important things for a guy who was a first-team all-tournament selection a year ago here at this 5A tournament when Corvallis won their state title. Corvallis by 7. About 5.5 minutes left here in the first period. And Charapata running the point right now for Milwaukee. So they've got Middleton and Hopkins both playing on the wings. Henry Morrison, he traveled into the hoop. And so Corvallis with the 7-point lead, 5:15 left in the ball. Kyle Bracey did say, look, we can't turn the ball over. We're going to have to protect it against them. And we got to play our style. It means they got to press and they've got to get out and run because they do play a faster style of game than Corvallis does. They're going to give up some points, but they got to score points on the other end of the floor. Corvallis is probably going to want to be as much as possible in a half court and look for ways to attack. They're going to attack this zone, and it's going to be another jumper by Parker, but out. And Morris keeps it in off of the head there of Spiegelberg. And a sub coming. This is Milwaukee's super sub. Junior Gonzalez, the 5'10 sophomore, runs the point guard most of the time. Played 24 minutes against Mountain View and had 8 points, 3 assists, and a couple of steals. And 18 minutes in yesterday's win over Wilsonville, 4 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals. Charapata to Junior Gonzalez. And he walked. Drug that right foot as he worked into the free throw line. And so, Corvallis still 8-1 here, 4:31 on the clock in the period. Gonzalez with Johnson as he brings it up. Now 1-3-1, and Gonzalez has got a ton of acreage to cover there on the top of that zone. Parker works himself under the hoop, and the rebound is going to be Middleton coming out of the pile. Check that, Hopkins. Hopkins will give to Middleton. Middleton to get going, and it's off the iron. Gonzalez chases down the rebound. The super sub. Back to the top of the key. Hopkins for 3. Mashawn Hopkins, first bucket of the ball game. He had 11 points against Mountain View and 9 points in the win over Wilsonville. To answer back, Ehlers around and out. The rebound tipped around. Last touch by Spiegelberg. And the Corvallis lead is down to 4. A change coming. And this is really the other super sub, especially in the win over Mountain View. C.J. Hubbard had 12 points. He was 3 for 3 outside the three-point arc and 4 for 4 shooting in the game. He had 10 points against Wilsonville yesterday. Charapata too high off his hands. And Corvallis, another turnover there by Milwaukee. They've had a handful of these early on. Probably going to turn Kyle Bracey's hair a little bit gray earlier if they keep playing like that in this game. Corvallis 8, Milwaukee 4, 3.5 minutes left in the first period. Parker again outside. He'll shoot it. Ehlers at the free throw line. Open in the corner, Spiegelberg's 3 off the back iron and rebounded by Parker. He'll take it in, a foul on the block attempt there. Middleton took a huge swipe at the ball, and the senior for Milwaukee will pick up his first foul of the ball game. Second team foul on the Mustangs. And free throws coming here for Henry Parker. Milwaukee, if they want to play fast, obviously, especially in a zone, they're really going to have to give special attention to rebounding the ball. Because in that zone, there's not necessarily somebody to box out immediately. You've got to find somebody and make sure you keep Corvallis off the boards. Because along with Ehlers and Hansen on the inside, you got to watch out for those guards attacking the offensive boards too. All the way to the 10, Hopkins lays it in. He's got 5 points. 9-6, Corvallis advantage. 2:50 left here in the first period. Parker in the corner, stuck. Parker gets it back. Ehlers, the free throw line jumper, too easy for him. Jake Ehlers, first bucket of the ball game. 11-6 to Corvallis lead. Hopkins spins in. It's going to be a 3 for Hubbard. Deadly sharpshooter for Milwaukee. And pulls the Corvallis lead down to 2. He got a foul on the interior pass to Hansen. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left here in the first period. Charapata picks up his second, and it's the third foul on Milwaukee. Keith Johnson to put it in play. Not really asked to score a ton for the Spartans, but he is asked to run the offense. 6 points against in their opener. Actually, the 6 points came against Benson. In the opener against Silverton, he had 4 points. But plays about 25 minutes per game. Aubrey Dashel, Lloyd will check back into the game for Milwaukee, replacing Charapata. Ehlers to inbound. Johnson with the ball, surveying. Ehlers down inside, Hansen open, he can't finish though. Rebound secured by Ehlers. Parker on the wing. Yeah, that's Johnson up top. Minute 50 left here in the first period. Corvallis by 2. Hansen works inside and loses the handle. Picked up by Middleton. Good defense there by Hubbard. Hansen tried to muscle Hubbard, and while he was doing it, he lost the ball. Middleton to the 10 and an offensive foul. Right there, parked under the basket. Henry Parker draws the charge, and Keenan Middleton's got his second. 14 foul on Milwaukee. 95 seconds left here in the first period of play. The OSAA US Bank Les Schwab Tires 5A Boys Basketball State Championships in Eugene at the University of Oregon's Matthew Knight Arena. Johnson. Milwaukee apparently doesn't consider Johnson a threat to shoot from out there, and it's probably a fair assumption. Johnson so far in this tournament, yesterday 4 of 8 from the field, but 0 for 3 for outside the arc. Ehlers inside lays it in. And Johnson in the game against Corvallis, just to finish the thought, 2 of 4, he didn't attempt a three-pointer. An answer back 3 is rattling around for Hopkins. Corvallis with the 4-point lead, 54 seconds left. Ehlers down into the corner. Parker hits another 3. He's got 7 in the quarter. 16-9, Milwaukee's trailing with the ball here, 35 seconds left. How about a 3 for Middleton? A lot of long-distance shots right now for Milwaukee, and not hitting with the regularity they expect. Climbing up on the scorers table, Junior Gonzalez tried to keep it in, but couldn't. And Milwaukee will bring Henry Morris back into the ballgame for Keenan Middleton. And one of Kyle Bracey's assistants will go have a conversation there with Middleton. I think shot selection is going to be the conversation after the first quarter, because Milwaukee's taken a couple of threes and they've been deep, and like that last one for Middleton wasn't really in system. 5 seconds left in the first quarter. Parker another 3. No, not quite. out of bounds at the end of the quarter, but that will bring us to the end of one. Corvallis 16, Milwaukie 9. Thanks for joining us here. We'll be back with the second quarter on OSAA.tv.
One Saturday night, someone went through town slashing tires. Sunday morning, one of Andy Spencer's customers at Les Schwab went to Andy's house to see if he could help.
You got it.
Andy got in his truck and drove up and down the streets, helping anyone who needed it. He worked at it pretty hard most of the day.
That's all of them.
Andy didn't tell anybody no. He really went above and beyond his duties as a manager and a neighbor. I'm James Hamilton, and that's my Les Schwab story.
Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Second quarter here, and Corvallis has the 16-9 lead in Eugene for the 5A state title in 2012. Corvallis, the champions last year. This is their 50th playoff appearance as a school in OSAA history. They have an all-time record of 90-74. They've been to the quarters 26 times, so better than 50% of the time they make the playoffs, they make it to the quarterfinals. 14th trip to the semis. This is their 10th ever finals appearance. And they've got a 7-point lead after one quarter. Out of bounds, another turnover here on Milwaukie. That is going to be their 6th of the ballgame. Corvallis has only turned it over once. After one quarter of play, Corvallis shooting 6 of 14 from the field. That's 43%. And Milwaukie is 30% at 3 of 10 from the field. Henry Parker, Ian Leonard, a 6'3 senior, is into the game, standing down in the left corner right now. Keith Johnson, Jake Ehlers, and rounding out the 5, that was J.J. Keim, a 6'1 senior. And the other end, all the way around and down for Dashiell Lloyd. That had every part of the rim before it went in, but Dashiell Lloyd cuts the Corvallis lead back down to 5. 45 seconds here into the second quarter. Johnson open up top. He'll attack. Give to Ehlers in the paint. And back to Johnson. A floater. Front iron off, and Morris skies for the rebound for Milwaukie. Mashawn Hopkins on the far sideline. A first-team all-tournament selection a year ago. Morris lays it in. Nifty little pick and roll there. And when you can run that, it's pretty dangerous, and Corvallis is going to take a timeout. With their lead cut down to 3 here at the start of the second quarter. Milwaukie opens the quarter with 4 consecutive points, and it's Corvallis 16, Milwaukie 13, with 6:40 left in this period. So to finish the history as far as championships go for Corvallis, this is going to be their 14th ever boys basketball trophy. They have 6 championship wins. Everybody remembers 1936 when they beat Franklin 34-20. They beat Salem in 1948, Jesuit in 1970, Central Catholic in 1980, Beaverton in 84, and then Benson last year, 79-73 in double overtime. Just a gem of a game, and it was really quite disappointing somebody had to win because it was so fun to watch. And Jake Ehlers went shot for shot at times, especially late in that game, with Andrew Andrews, who played for Benson last year and then graduated. They have lost Corvallis 2 championship games, 1942 to Astoria and 1986 to Grant. They're looking for their 7th title, and at this point they are 6 and 2 in championship games. They've got a 3-point lead right now. A corner 3 for Leonard, well off course, and Hopkins with the rebound. Corvallis by 3. Hubbard can shoot from the outside. They close him out well, but he's fouled as he got into the paint. Leonard is going to get called for the reaching. It'll be his first, and the 3rd team foul on the Spartans. Corvallis a change, and Keim is going to come out of the game, and Spiegelberg will come back in. Leonard will come out, and Nolan Hansen will come back in. 6:06 on the clock, and Milwaukie with the inbound. Hubbard on the far side. Down into the corner for Hopkins. And his jumper's off. Good rebound there by Keith Johnson. Johnson around some contact, works into the paint, and there he'll get the foul. Almost like he was determined after he got bumped at half court to find some whistle, and he was able to. Some heated discussion there in the paint, and the officials, Steve Harris, Cameron Rust, standing in to separate people. Foul is going to go against Junior Gonzalez, and I think he's frustrated with just about everybody on the floor in either white or white and black because he can't believe he got called for the foul. It is his first. 15 foul on Milwaukee. And they will put Keith Johnson at the line to shoot too. He was in the act of shooting, they say, so 2 free throws coming. Corvallis is 2 of 4 from the stripe. In the win over Benson, Johnson was 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Joffrey Sharapata back into the game for Gonzalez on Milwaukee's side, and Ian Leonard returns, and Jake Ehlers will get a break here in the second quarter for Corvallis. Milwaukee student section trying to get in the head of the free throw shooter. Maybe they did. Johnson misses. 4-point lead, though, for Corvallis. A 3 for Hubbard in the corner. That one forced over the top of Hansen. It's around and out. There's a foul on the rebound. And it's going to be called against Ashel Lloyd. His first, and now the 6th on Milwaukee. 5 minutes, 40 seconds left here in the second quarter. Johnson will bring it up for the Spartans. Still zone defense for Milwaukee. 3 from the outside. Joey Spiegelberg's first bucket of the ball game. And Corvallis, who had their lead cut down to 3 a minute ago, is back out in front by 7. 5:15 on the clock here in the second quarter. Hubbard to Hopkins, down inside. Dashel Lloyd's turnaround, and Johnson skies for the rebound. The point guard racing for Corvallis into the near court. 3 minutes gone here in the second quarter. 20-13, the Corvallis advantage. Spiegelberg just hit from that area. Charapata out on him. Back to Johnson. Changes coming for each team at the next opportunity. Hansen in the corner, and then back out on top to the near side, Parker. Corvallis just passing around the perimeter against this 2-3 look for Milwaukee. Parker, another 3, and he hits it. Henry Parker is having a game, 10 points here in the first half. Corvallis out in front, 23-13, and a foul. Offensive against Mashawn Hopkins. It is his first, and the 17th foul on the Milwaukee Mustangs. Dashel Lloyd comes out, and Middleton comes back in for Milwaukee. And J.J. Keim comes back in for Corvallis. But first, a Milwaukee 30-second timeout. Kyle Bracey's got to make sure this thing doesn't get away from his Mustangs. 23-13, and Corvallis is looking right now like the team that's more experienced in this type of game. Milwaukee is in their 18th ever playoff appearance, 21-26 all time. That number doesn't really matter so much because obviously the guys on the floor weren't involved in all of those 47 games. They went to the quarterfinals for the 6th time this year, only their 2nd time ever to the semis, and this is only their 2nd time ever to the finals. They won their championship in 1954 against Eugene, 52-44. The only other trophies that Milwaukee has won is consolation trophy in 1955, and last year they took 4th place. But at 8 seniors, so having only 2 real contributors back in Middleton and Hopkins, this is pretty impressive. They're back here in the championship game this year. It was Hansen with the basket on the other end of the floor to put Corvallis in front 25-13, but a blocking foul on the baseline is going to go against Hansen on the other end of the floor. It's the 14th foul on Corvallis. Nolan Hansen's first. Charapata to put it in play for the Mustangs. 3 minutes, 54 seconds left here in the second period. Way open, and it's a block away by Hansen. Hubbard was right there on the block, and he couldn't lay it in. Spiegelberg to Leonard, down inside. Hansen's turnaround, and the rebound is Charapata. 3.5 left in the first half. And a foul off of the ball, away from where Hopkins just hit that long three. And it's going to go this time against Keim. His first, and the 15th foul against Corvallis. Joffrey Charapata is going to go put it in play. Front of the scorers table. 12-point lead for Corvallis. Milwaukie opened this quarter with 2 straight buckets. They haven't scored since. Inside to Hopkins and back out. Hopkins up top for 3. It's short, and another rebound for Keith Johnson, who gets tripped up across the timeline. Johnson gets it back. Johnson works in, huge swing and a block there by Henry Morris. Johnson has it back out on top. Corvallis, over the last 15, 20 seconds here, having trouble keeping a hold of the ball. Down inside, wide open to finish at the hoop. Leonard, his first bucket of the ball game. Corvallis is running their offense just so well right now. Patient and hitting all their passes and then hitting the shots as well. And Milwaukie, turnover number 8 to Corvallis is just 2 in the game. And Milwaukie, when they're not turning it over, shooting 29% from the field. (27-13) with 2.5 minutes left in the second period. The Mid-Willamette Conference champion, Corvallis Spartans, with this lead. Really tough pass by Ehlers in there, and they're going to wave it off for a walk by Hansen. Ehlers rifled that thing in there, and there were 2 guys on Hansen. I don't know how he got past both of them. Probably because Hansen was defended so well, they just didn't expect the ball to come in. Middleton has been quiet so far. Morris cut off and a blocking foul. Johnson didn't quite get himself there. He was rotating over to pick up the drive on the baseline, and he was a little bit late. His first foul, 16th foul on Corvallis. And Keenan Middleton goes to talk with the coaching staff on the other end of the floor, while Henry Morris is at the line to shoot 2. Keim out, Henry Parker back in. Leading scorer in this game with 10 points right now. He's 3 of 5 from outside the arc. Morris 1 of 2 again. He's 2 of 4 from the free throw line in this game, and has 4 points. Hansen left open up top. He's not going to shoot from there. Ehlers, though, would shoot from where he is. Minute 40 left in the second quarter. Parker again for 3, and this one's a little off, but he looks very comfortable, and he's not quite able to get the steal on the other end of the floor. Milwaukie ball. 90 seconds left here in the first half. Greg Garrison pleading his case to Steve Harris, and Steve Harris is going to call Cameron Rust over, and that's the right call. It was off of Parker, and then it was off of Parker twice, actually, because he deflected it, and then he tried to save it in, and he actually tipped it out. Hubbard bounces to Middleton. Still scoreless. He'll work his way in and slip, but Hubbard on the wing for 3. C.J. Hubbard's second triple of the ball game, and that is going to end a 11-0 run for Corvallis. Milwaukee down by 10. And 3 in the key is going to be called against Hanson. So that's a turnover on the Spartans, just their 4th of the ball game. 1:05 left in the second quarter. Corvallis out to a 10-point lead. Junior Gonzalez to Mashawn Hopkins. Hopkins with 5 points in the ball. Inside to Morris, and it's blocked behind, and a foul. The foul on Hanson is going to be his 2nd foul, and it's a 17 foul on Corvallis. And they said it was on the arm as Hanson tried to pin that shot by Morris up against the backboard. And now Hanson will come out, and Ian Leonard will come back in. This is a smaller lineup for Corvallis, with Ehlers really being the inside guy, and 4 guards out on the floor with Hanson on the bench. Morris good on both. He's got 5 points in the quarter and 6 total. 45 seconds left in the period. Corvallis' lead is down to 8. Leonard in a 3 for Spiegelberg. Back iron off, tipped around, and kept alive by Leonard. Johnson backs up. 23 seconds left. Greg Garrison out near half court, signaling they want last shot, up 27-19. Johnson to Ehlers. Ehlers double teamed. It's poked from behind, but picked up by Leonard. Then poked away from Leonard, and a foul called on the reach in there. I thought Leonard got fouled there. And it's going to be Hubbard who picks up the reach in. His first, 8th team foul on Milwaukee. So 1-and-1 situation here at the free throw line. Although, why is Jake Ehlers at the line? Ian Leonard had the ball, and Ian Leonard was the one that was fouled. I can only chalk that up to a veteran move by Ehlers just to walk to the free throw line, because obviously he wants to shoot the free throws. I'm almost positive that foul, if that foul was called on Ehlers, it was called about 5 seconds after the actual foul happened. Final 5 seconds here after Ehlers makes bowls at the free throw line. Around and out for Middleton, and that'll bring us to the end of the first half. Corvallis 29, Milwaukee 19. It's a 10-point lead for the defending state champions going into the locker room here at the halftime break in Eugene. Milwaukee's got to try to settle things down. 8 turnovers and 33% shooting, while Corvallis has only turned it over 4 times, and they're shooting 41.7% from the field. We're at the half here in Eugene. We'll take a break on OSAA.tv. When we come back, the sights and sounds of halftime at Matthew Knight Arena, and I'll be back with your third quarter in just a bit.
If you've stopped saving, let us help you start. Savings today and rewards tomorrow from U.S. Bank. Save a little every week with every purchase, every paycheck. Watch your savings grow. When you reach $1,000, you'll earn a $50 rewards Visa card. Earn another $50 when you keep it for a year. Save for a wedding day, a family, or your house. Just start. All of us serving you. U.S. Bank.
Good evening once again. Eric Olson with you on OSA.TV. High at top, Matthew Knight Arena in Eugene at the University of Oregon campus for the OSAA U.S. Bank Les Schwab Tires 5A Boys Basketball State Championships. Corvallis 29, Milwaukee 19. One last trophy, well, I guess two last trophies, but one last championship trophy to give away here in Eugene. Already the Springfield Millers won their second consecutive state championship. Corvallis trying to match them. They've got the 10-point lead, and we'll start with the ball here in the second half. Nolan Hanson to inbound, Keith Johnson the point guard, Henry Parker the leading scorer with 10 on the wing, Joey Spiegelberg the other wing, and Jake Ehlers takes the ball. Nice pass to the backside, and Parker lays it in. Henry Parker is having a wild game. He's got 12 points. Parker in this tournament had 11 points in each of the last two games, so now he's at 12. Milwaukee's going to keep the possession. Jeffrey Charapata, Aubrey Dashel Lloyd, Mashawn Hopkins, Keaton Middleton, and Henry Morris. Starting five back out on the floor. It'll be a fadeaway. Hopkins knocks it down. They say it's a two. Must have his foot on the white line there, so Hopkins makes it a 10-point lead again, but to extend, Spiegelberg hits in the corner. Greg Garrison said one of the differences between last year's team and this year's team is we're not as good from the outside. Could have fooled me. They are shooting well from three-point land here tonight. That is their fifth three-pointer of the ball game. First foul here in the second half. It's going to go against Corvallis, and it's going to go against Nolan Hanson. It is his third. Henry Morris, 2 free throws coming. And he knocks down the first. Ian Leonard will come back in for Hanson. 7:03 on the clock here in the third quarter. Yeah, Morris is good on both. He's now 6 of 8 from the free throw line, and Morris is going to come out of the game. C.J. Hubbard will come in. Not quite a minute gone here in the third period. And the Corvallis lead is down to 11. Full court pressure from the Mustangs. Parker gives up, and Johnson's got it. Leonard, good head fake, and it's knocked away from behind. Greg Garrison wanted a foul called there, and the officials thought that ball was poked cleanly out of the hands of Ian Leonard. Leonard had a great head fake to get Keenan Middleton up into the air. Hopkins attacks the basket and goes all the way in. Really not bothered at all on his way in that time. And Milwaukee's cut the lead down to 9. Wide open out on the left wing. Parker gives to Ehlers. Back to Parker on the give and go. Comes off the iron, and Hubbard gets the rebound. .6:15 on the clock here in the third quarter, and rattling one in from the top of the key. Hopkins is feeling it. 7 points in the quarter. It's a 6-point lead now for Corvallis with 2 minutes gone in the period. Leonard gives back to Ehlers. And now Johnson, the point guard, will back up and reset. Leonard, it's poked away off of Middleton. Corvallis with the inbound. 5:45 on the clock here, third period. And a 6-point advantage. Another three in the corner. Spiegelberg can't hit that time. Dashel Lloyd up court. 3-on-1 for Milwaukee. Charapata. Wasn't exactly how you drop a press break, but Charapata lays it in. Charapata, excuse me. It's his first bucket of the ballgame. And now the Corvallis lead is down to 4. At a timeout for Greg Garrison after his team gets it across the timeline. This is the Milwaukie Mustang team that got to the state championship game. Fast-paced, attacking the hoop. And some outside shooting from Mashawn Hopkins. Corvallis Spartans, though, they've been here before, and so Greg Garrison and his coaching staff just taking a moment here to collect his team again. Corvallis 34, Milwaukie 30. 5:22 on the clock in the third period of play. Really good crowd here in Eugene at the University of Oregon's Matthew Knight Arena. Good student sections on both end zones. And the parents have filled up the far side. If you look at the far side, there's almost a line between maroon and blue right down the middle section behind the scorer's table. Greg Garrison still pleading his case, probably about the non-foul at the hoop the last time Leonard took it up to the 10. 4-point lead for Corvallis out of their timeout. Spiegelberg in the corner, a little long, and the rebound is secured by Hopkins. Up court, Charapata leaking the other end, will finger roll it in. Charapata's got 4 here in the quarter, and the Corvallis lead is down to 2. This is an 11-point run for Milwaukie. Corvallis had an 11-point run in the second quarter. When the game was 16-13 in favor of Corvallis, the Spartans ran it out to 27-13 before Milwaukie was able to answer. It was 34-21, and now Milwaukie has ran out 11 in a row. 4.5 minutes left in the third period. Spiegelberg another 3, back iron off. Rebound, put back. Keith Johnson crashing the hoop, lays it in. That'll end the run, and it's a 4-point lead again for the Spartans. Hopkins to answer right back, gets a shooter's roll. And Mashawn Hopkins is proving why he was a first-team all-tournament player a year ago. There's a foul, and it'll send Leonard to the line to shoot 2 free throws for Corvallis. C.J. Hubbard picks up the foul, his second. First team foul on Milwaukie here in the second half. With 4:08 left in the third quarter, Corvallis only has 1 foul called against them as well. Leonard's first shot, hard off the back iron. And he has just 2 points right now. Hubbard comes out, and Junior Gonzalez comes back in. Henry Morris also returns to the game for the Mustangs. 1 of 2 trip for Leonard, and Corvallis' lead is 3. Halfway point here in the third quarter. Middleton loses the handle, and it's going to be taken away there by Leonard. Leonard, good defense down on the block as Middleton tried to back him down. And they really haven't found a way to get Middleton going in this ballgame. He is still scoreless. And Parker is not by any stretch of the imagination. Another 3-pointer for Henry Parker. He's got 4 of them in the ballgame and 14 points to lead all scorers. Corvallis back out by 6. Middleton to answer, and it's going to be short. He just doesn't look in rhythm right now. And he has looked as good as anybody at this tournament shooting the ball. Leonard, nice hesitation, and gets Middleton right into the foul. Middleton got baited into that one by another good head fake by Leonard. He's had a couple of those down on the block. And it's Middleton's third, second team foul. And C.J. Hubbard raced to the scorer's table to check back into the ballgame. But first, Leonard has 2 free throws coming. His first one is good. Hubbard in and Middleton out. Three minutes, 12 seconds left here in the third quarter, and Corvallis has answered the 11-point run by Milwaukie with an 8-point run of their own. Junior Gonzalez working a wing right now, although the sophomore is listed as a point guard. Hubbard drives baseline. It's poked out of bounds by Spiegelberg. Under 3 minutes left in the third period. Junior Gonzalez to inbound. Lob to Morris over the top. Charapata to Hopkins. And a hand check foul there on Hopkins as he worked himself into the paint. Go against Spiegelberg. It's his first and the second team foul on Corvallis. Gonzalez to put the ball back in play and will give to Mashawn Hopkins. 42-34 Corvallis. 2:45 left here in the third period. Good job to cut off Charapata, but the three off the back iron from Hopkins tipped out, and they'll say it was touched by Hubbard. And Milwaukee can't believe it, and I tend to agree with them. I thought that came off of, I think Leonard was in there, and, well, he was being hounded from behind by Hubbard. I thought that Leonard touched it last. Either way, it's going to be Corvallis ball. And Middleton right back into the ball game to replace Morris as Milwaukee goes back to their full court pressure. Johnson, as Corvallis breaks the pressure, and Milwaukee drops back into their zone. Parker out on the wing. He's got 14 points to lead all scorers. Parker, how about another three? That one's iron off, but Ehlers chases it down and threw right away. Nice job by Junior Gonzalez for the steal. Charapata throws it to nobody, but it's going to come out off of the hands of Leonard. And Junior Gonzalez, a sophomore, takes the senior, Joffrey Charapata, and says, look, you got to take that to the hoop. 1:56 left in the third quarter. Corvallis' lead is 8. Mashawn Hopkins. And a blocking foul. Looked like he ran right over the top of Johnson, but Johnson's going to get called for the foul. Greg Garrison on the other end of the floor wants some semblance of an explanation. Johnson second, third team foul on Corvallis. Gonzalez to put it back in play. And a foul off of the ball. And it's going to be on Corvallis, and now they're fourth. Leonard and Spiegelberg were there. And Leonard's going into the book. And they're still shoving on the inside, and they talk about it before they get it in. It's Hubbard battling with Ehlers down inside. 1:50 left in the period. Hopkins up top. He'll work to the 10 and gets a shooter's roll. He hit that off the front iron, and it rolled in off the front iron on kind of a line drive look. And Mashawn Hopkins has got 16 now. The other end of the floor, Leonard lays it in. And so it is 44-36. And a steal. Parker got the steal. Spiegelberg's got tons of space. Into the lane, and Ehlers lays it in. If Jake Ehlers can have a quiet game and have 10 points, he's having one. But that layup gives Corvallis a 10-point lead and forces Milwaukee to use a timeout. They have just 2 left in this ball game with 1:10 left in the third quarter. Ehlers in double digits now with 10. Henry Parker, the leading scorer in the game, has 15. The leading scorer for Corvallis in the game. Mashawn Hopkins got 16. And Hopkins has exploded here in the third quarter, because he went into the locker room at the break with just 5 points. So he's got 11 right now. And the way he's playing, it looks like he might not be done. Milwaukee has pulled Henry Morris off the floor and are going with a essentially 5-guard lineup to apply the full court pressure. And they did this against Mountain View in the quarterfinals as well when they won 69-63 to knock what was the number 1 seeded team in the tournament back into the consolation bracket. Mountain View ended up winning 4th place earlier today. But that was really the reason that Henry Morris only played 8 minutes in that game. He got into a little bit of foul trouble, but at the same time, Mountain View is a team that really kind of plays a similar style to Milwaukee in the fact that they got a lot of guards who can score the ball. And in that game, it was Middleton, who hasn't really got going in this game, going head-to-head with James Reed. Corvallis secures on a miss. 50 seconds left here in the third period, and a 10-point lead for the Spartans. Nice crossover. Ehlers clears some space, but he can't hit the 18-footer. Gonzalez brings it up. The sophomore kicks out. Charapata. Hubbard in the left corner, and it's going to be blocked away by Parker. How good of a game is Henry Parker having? He's got 15 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and now a block. 22 seconds left in the third period. Ball knocked away. Gonzalez can't chase it down, but it last touched him off of his back leg as he was rolling into the scorer's table. And so Corvallis will have an inbound. Ehlers to put it in play with 17 seconds and change left here in the third period. Johnson to Ehlers. Back to Johnson. Top of the key. Spiegelberg's 3. Back iron off. Rebound. Put back Leonard at the buzzer. It's a little long, and that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. Corvallis 46. Milwaukee 36. A state championship in 2012 is on the line, and there's just 1 quarter left. 8 minutes on the clock, and we'll have it for you after this on OSAA.tv.
My friends and I were driving to the Salt Lake Airport to fly to a music teachers conference when our tires started going flat. We called the Les Schwab in Ogden, Utah, and they said,
Come on in.
they were so fast, we didn't even eat the free popcorn.
There you go.
And we even made our flight. In a world where such great customer service is not always the case, it's nice to know there's Les Schwab. I'm Bonnie Lamborn, and that's my Les Schwab story.
Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
5A boys basketball state championships in Eugene at the University of Oregon's Matthew Knight Arena. Eric Olson with you, and glad to find you here with us on OSAA.tv. At the end of the third quarter, Corvallis 46, Milwaukee 36. And if you're the Corvallis Spartans, you have to continue to do defensively what you've been able to do to Keenan Middleton. The leading scorer in the tournament for the Mustangs is scoreless right now. Mashawn Hopkins got 16. He had 11 in that last quarter. And he was a first-team tournament guy a year ago, poked out of bounds by Keith Johnson. So Milwaukee will keep the possession. But the way Middleton has played, it just baffles the mind that he would go out of this tournament without scoring. He has just played so well, and I expect him to put the ball in the basket a few times here in this quarter. I'm sure that Greg Garrison's team does as well, and that's why they've been paying so much attention to him defensively. Hopkins way inside, great pass, but Morris couldn't handle it. They'll say last touch there by Henry Parker, and Milwaukee will keep the possession. Henry Morris, Junior Gonzalez, Keenan Middleton, Mashawn Hopkins, and rounding out the fifth on the floor, it's Aubrey Dashel-Lloyd. So the starting 5 out there right now for Milwaukee, minus Charapata, and insert Gonzalez, the sophomore. Floater, and it's going to be a little long, and the rebound is secured by Keith Johnson. Jake Ehlers, how about a 3 for Ehlers? You could tell he was lining that one up as he walked into it. He's got 13 now. Henry Parker is Corvallis' leading scorer with 15. Hopkins to answer back, rims out, and Hansen secures. Nolan Hansen hasn't played a whole lot here in the second half because of foul trouble. Henry Parker, Keith Johnson, Jake Ehlers, Hansen, and Joey Spiegelberg on the floor. Starting 5 for Corvallis at a foul as Johnson takes it to the 10. Spartans' lead right now is 13, and Keith Johnson can add to that. Henry Morris picks up his first foul of the ball game. Milwaukee has shot better here in the second half. They went into the locker room shooting just 31%. They're at 38% now. It's not a tremendous change, but they went from 6 field goals at the end of the first 2 quarters to 13 field goals now. Johnson 2 of 2. He's got 6 now. And it's a 51-36 lead for Corvallis. Had a foul inside, a reach in on Corvallis. It'll be their 5th team foul. And it'll go against Henry Parker, his 2nd. Junior Gonzalez to put it in play. 6:44 on the clock here in the 4th quarter. Right into Hopkins. He can't finish right in the paint. Over the top of Ehlers, and the rebound is secured by Johnson. Johnson's got 7 rebounds in this ball game. In fact, he's the leading rebounder in the entire ball game. Missed shot, a foul on the rebound, and that is also going to go against Corvallis, this time against Spiegelberg. His 2nd, 6th-team foul on the Spartans. 6:30 left, but the Spartans right now are holding a 51-36 lead. Hopkins will attack the paint and run right over the top of Hansen. You could kind of feel that Hopkins was getting ready to take one inside because he had taken a couple of shots there from the perimeter and had lost a little bit of his outside shooting touch there. And so to get himself back in rhythm, he was going to try to get it to the rim, and Nolan Hansen was ready for it. It's Hopkins now 2nd foul of the ball game and the 4th on Milwaukee. Henry Parker down in the corner to Johnson. Parker again. The senior for Corvallis is having quite a game in his last game, suiting up in the Spartans white and blue. Off the hands of Johnson, he keeps it in, no, throws it off of Junior Gonzalez, but it caromed off of Johnson. 5:49 left. Milwaukee forces a turnover, but they trail by 15. Hopkins leaves for Middleton, an NBA 3 around and out, and Parker the rebound. Parker's 4th rebound to go with 3 assists and 15 points. Less than 5.5 here in the 4th quarter now. Johnson all the way in, it's poked away from him. Parker keeps it in play. He's left open, will take the 2, and it's a little short. Everybody kind of stopped there because I think they thought that ball was going to come out of bounds, including Parker, so he wasn't really in rhythm when he takes it. Charapata was in rhythm down in the corner, though. He's got 7 now, and Milwaukee chips into the Corvallis lead, 51-39. 5 minutes left in the state championship game, at the very least regulation of it. Corvallis needed 2 overtimes a year ago to beat Benson. A foul's going to be called on Charapata. His 3rd. 15 foul on the Mustangs. And C.J. Hubbard, a sharp-shooting guy from the outside, will come into the game and replace Middleton. Ehlers the inbound for Corvallis. He's at 13 points now. Into Hansen. Took it a little bit too far under the hoop, and then Henry Morris bailed him out by fouling him on the arm. Hansen was in good position when he caught the ball, but when he stepped to his right on that dribble, he actually put himself essentially under the basket and behind the rim. So he had to lean back in, and that in part caused the contact there, which initiated the 6th foul on the Mustangs. And for Morris, his 2nd. Change here for Milwaukee, and 6'4" sophomore Tyler Spencer will come into the game for the first time. Kyle Bracey did admit before his quarterfinal his team doesn't go too deep down the bench this year. They lost 8 seniors last year, so getting guys who are ready to play at this level in a state championship game, the fact that they got back here, considering they really just returned Middleton and Hopkins, is tremendous. They were 4th place a year ago. Parker called for a travel. .442 left here in the 4th quarter. Junior Gonzalez to inbound. Hopkins. Pull up 6, and it's going to be short. Hansen rebounds. Hansen picks it up and gives to Spiegelberg. Across the timeline, Johnson. Milwaukee's going to have to extend their defense even more so here in the final 4:15, and there's a foul off the ball. It's going to be the 7th team foul, so 1-and-1 situation. And it'll be Keith Johnson going to the line to take the free throws. Tyler Spencer picks up the foul, his first. Johnson a 1-and-1 with his team up 51-39. Johnson earns his second. He's hit 3 free throws in a row here in the quarter. He is 3 of 4 from the stripe. .410 left, Corvallis 52, Milwaukee 39. Charapata, he'll take the deep one. It's a little too long. Johnson keeps it in. .350 left here in the 4th, and a timeout for Greg Garrison. His team up 52-39. And Milwaukee's got to get back to what they were doing there in the 3rd quarter when they went on that 11-0 run. When they were down 34-21, they brought it back to 34-32, but they were never able to take the lead. In fact, Corvallis has never trailed in this game. They opened the game up 6-0, and at the end of the 1st quarter, they led 16-9. Corvallis then, Milwaukee opened the 2nd quarter with 2 buckets to pull that 16-9 lead down to 16-13. And Corvallis answered with an 11-0 run of their own to jump in front 27-13. It was 29-19 at the halftime break. And Milwaukee's 11-point run was answered, and Corvallis finished the 3rd quarter on a 12-4 run to go into the 4th quarter again up by 10, even though Milwaukee had brought the lead down to 2. So it was 46-36 to start this quarter, and it's 52-39 now. Out of the Spartans timeout, 3:48 left, Ehlers to inbound to Parker, who is still the Spartans' leading scorer. Ehlers has 13, Parker's got 15. Parker again, and he's fouled. It's going to be Gonzalez. The sophomore picks up his second, 8th team foul on Milwaukee. So Henry Parker will be at the line to shoot the 1-and-1. Middleton will come back in to replace Hubbard. Parker just 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Corvallis as a team, 11 of 18 from the stripe. Milwaukee 6 of 8. Out off of the hands of Spencer. And so Corvallis has a possession they really shouldn't have. An extra possession here late that Milwaukee can ill afford to give up. 53-39 with 3:35 left. And Corvallis can start to move the ball around and really earn themselves good shots. Ehlers hasn't done a whole lot of work inside, trying to set up down on the post right now against Middleton. Parker out wide. Johnson again, the senior point guard. Spiegelberg, another senior. In fact, all seniors on the floor for Corvallis. Ehlers hits a deep two. 55-39. And the Corvallis fans are starting to feel it with 3 minutes left and their team up by 16. There's a foul, there's a bucket, and a three-point play opportunity coming for Marshawn Hopkins. But there's just, right now, Milwaukee's fans are kind of on their hands because they're not really believing. And they've got to get their team to get them a little bit of belief here so they can make some noise. It's a chicken and egg thing. Will your fans get behind you here and make some noise to help spur you on to the finish? Or do you have to do something to get them to go? This is Milwaukee's first championship appearance since 1954. The fans should be with them all the way. Corvallis up by 13. Ehlers gives right back to Hansen. Nice extra pass by Ehlers. Hansen will go to the line to shoot two. I don't know if Ehlers really had to make that pass, but it was really kind of just good sharing there to give Hansen an opportunity to lay it in. $19 foul on the Milwaukie Mustangs. And Hansen misses the first. He's 1 of 4 at the free throw line this evening. He's been very good from this tournament, though, from the free throw line. 9 of 10 coming into this game, but an 0 for 2 trip there and 1 for 6 this evening. He went 8 for 8 yesterday in the win over Benson. All the way to the 10, lay it in, count the bucket. There's Keenan Middleton's basket. For Milwaukee, the question is it a little too little, a little too late? Middleton has a chance to make this a 10-point ball game. And there's still 2:34 left for a Milwaukee team that can score in bunches. That is the 18th foul on Corvallis, by the way. Middleton hits it. He didn't even watch it go in off of the rim. He had already gotten back on defense. Full court pressure by the Mustangs. Corvallis got to get across the timeline. 10-second call. 2:23 left here in the fourth quarter and a turnover on the Spartans. Just their 8th of the ball game. Milwaukee went into the locker room at the half with 8 turnovers of their own. They only have 12 now. So 4 here in the second half. Marshawn Hopkins up top. Down under the basket, wide open to lay it in. Caleb Watkins, and a huge roar from the Milwaukee fans. Maybe that's what's going to take for the Mustangs, is the senior, not often used for Milwaukee, getting his first bucket of the state championship game. And Corvallis' lead is down to 8. That foul, though, is going to send Ehlers to the line to shoot free throws. Where Ehlers is 2 for 2 in this game. In the win over Benson last night, 4 of 6. And against Silverton, 2 of 2. 8 of 10 in the tournament at the stripe. Make it 9 of 11. Milwaukee's just going to have to keep hitting buckets to get themselves back into this. And they need to hope Corvallis misses free throws, but it's not really something that's in Corvallis' MO. Consider this. Yesterday in the win over Benson, Corvallis shot 42 free throws and made 32 of them. Strip, Parker the other end, and he will smartly dribble back out. Give to Ehlers. Ehlers to the 10 and can't quite lay it in, but kept alive. Parker holding up top with 1:42 left. That is incredibly smart there by Parker to let Corvallis milk more time off the clock. Sure, he could have laid it in, but Corvallis with a 10-point lead is in good shape as long as they take time off. 90 seconds left. Ehlers to Spiegelberg. And there's going to be a foul on Junior Gonzalez, kind of running right over top there of Keith Johnson. And Johnson has not missed a free throw here in the quarter. He's 4 of 4 in the quarter and 4 of 6 for the game. 6 points in this ball game, and he can extend Corvallis' 10-point lead with 1:19 left. Hits every part of the rim before it goes in. Hubbard will come back into the ball game, and he is going to replace Spencer. For Corvallis, this is one of, believe it or not, 10 seniors listed on their roster. The question's going to be for Greg Garrison, can he reload again after 10 seniors graduate after what looks to be their second consecutive state championship? We're not going to crown him quite yet. It's only an 11-point lead with 1:19 left. Stranger things have happened, but that's a turnover. Hopkins wasn't expecting the pass. Parker to take it and lay it in. That is probably the bow on this one. Hubbard the other end will lay it in to answer back at a timeout for Milwaukee. Corvallis 60, Milwaukee 49. 1:04 left. Parker with 18, Ehlers with 17, Mashawn Hopkins with 19. And as good as Milwaukee had been here in the second half about turnovers, that last one there, where there was a cross-up between what Middleton and Hopkins were thinking, and the ball got thrown away to Parker, who laid it in on the other end, that's a huge one. Well, Corvallis wanted to play fast, but not Milwaukee fast. And I feel like they've really controlled the tempo of this game. When they wanted to play half-court basketball, they have. And especially in the first half, they really executed. Really good passing, really good opportunities. And they opened up the outside shooting, and Henry Parker was hitting. There in that first half, Henry Parker hit 3 3-pointers. He's got 4 3-pointers in the game, and 18 total points. Mashawn Hopkins has put the Milwaukie Mustangs on his back and done his absolute best. Our first-team all-tournament guy a year ago. And he's going to be a first-teamer again here in 2012, along with Keenan Middleton. Jake Ehlers, who's got the ball, is a unanimous first-team selection by the coaches here for the all-tournament team, with 57 seconds left and Corvallis up 60-49. Also in this game, Nolan Hansen is a first-team all-tournament guy. So Ehlers and Hansen from Corvallis, Middleton and Hopkins from Milwaukee. And the senior from Mountain View, James Reed, is the 5th first-team all-tournament guy. The second team includes Keith Johnson, the point guard from Corvallis, Wilsonville's Kevin Marshall, and Sione Cowie, and Mountain View's junior Mitch Modine. So a lot of seniors being recognized there. All the first-teamers are seniors, and 3 of the 5 second-teamers are seniors. Modine with Mountain View, and Zach Gangler, the 5th second-teamer with Silverton, will be back. Gangler and Reed had quite a shootout here in the 4th-place game earlier today. 62-49, and a foul, and they'll wave the basket. It's an offensive foul. And it's going to be tough here for Keenan Middleton. He's had a tough night, but I'll tell you what, he's had a great tournament. Against Mountain View in the quarterfinal against the number 1 ranked team coming into the tournament, he had 34 points. He won the shootout with James Reed. Middleton, unfortunately, just committed his 5th foul, and so he will check out of the game. And Wilkins back in. Caleb Wilkins, the 6-foot senior. 42 seconds left, a steal and a lay-in by Hubbard. And Corvallis' lead is at 11. And a timeout called there by Parker. He was stuck in the backcourt. He knew Corvallis had timeouts left, so he took one. With 34.6 seconds left, Corvallis has full, so they'll take it. But just to finish the thought on Keenan Middleton, I know he's going to be frustrated with this game. It's going to be 1 for 7 from the field for 3 points. He had 4 rebounds and assists, and he fouls out of the ball game. But that was a gem of a quarterfinal against Mountain View. And he backed it up yesterday in the semis. against Wilsonville in what was probably one of the more emotionally charged games of the entire tournament, because it was the two teams who tied for the Northwest Oregon Conference title playing for a chance to go to the state championship game. And a year ago, here at Matthew Knight Arena in Eugene in the 2011 tournament, Wilsonville and Milwaukee met in the quarterfinals, and Wilsonville won that one. And Milwaukee ended up having to go into the consolation bracket. They finished in 4th place for their 3rd ever state championship basketball trophy in boys basketball at the high school. Kyle Bracey said all those state championship banners in the gym, they all seem to be back from the 50s and the 60s. Nobody remembers them really, including the 1954 title. He said one of the things they wanted to get here, and once they got here, they're here to win. And he joked, we really would like to put a banner up that is from this century on the wall. They're going to come up just short of that with 33 and a half seconds left. Henry Parker will be shooting free throws on the other end of the floor. He now trails Ehlers by a point. So he's got to make them both here to jump ahead of Ehlers in this little team battle that I'm creating for high point getter in this game. Ehlers with 19. Hopkins on Milwaukee's got 19. And Henry Parker's got 19 as well in a 1 of 2 trip. Final 30 seconds. Ehlers with the handle. He'll give to Parker. Parker back to Ehlers. Up to Hansen. Hansen will back it back out. And the Corvallis fans chanting thank you to 10 seniors who are going to bring home state championship number 7 to Corvallis High School. 2 in a row for the Spartans. 63-51 the final score. Jubilation in Corvallis as they go crazy in the middle of the court. Parker and Ehlers 19 apiece. Johnson had 7. Leonard had 7. And the Corvallis Spartans win 2 in a row. This wasn't the double overtime battle with Benson, but Milwaukee gave them everything Corvallis could have wanted here tonight. Corvallis 63, Milwaukee 51. Corvallis picks up win number 24 on the season and will win the state championship in 2012. What a finish to the 2012 state tournament here in Eugene at the University of Oregon's Matthew Knight Arena. And we appreciate you joining us for every minute here on OSAA.tv. Our producer's been Scott LeBounty. Our cameraman is Ward Biagni. I'm Eric Olson. And again, Corvallis Spartans, the champions, 63-51. They beat Milwaukee. Thanks for joining us here this evening. I'm Eric Olson saying good night, and we'll talk to you again soon.
The OSAA is now partner with ODS in honoring one player from each team in this game as that team's player of the game. The ODS player